Are you interested in learning about synthetic division? Do you feel frustrated sometimes when learning about synthetic division? Well, you've come to the right place, my friend, and I'm going to teach you how to do synthetic division with the following example. 4x raised to the fourth plus 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x plus 2, all being now divided by 2x plus 1. So the first thing is you want to take a look at your dividend, which is the term that comes to the left of that division symbol. Locate your highest power of x. So here it's a 4, add 1 to it, and when you take 4 and add 1 to it, you get 5. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell you then the number of columns here you want inside of your synthetic division table. So what you then want to make sure of is that you have 5 terms now in this polynomial function here in the dividend. And we do, okay? So all you're going to simply do now is you're going to take the coefficient of the first term, all right, which is a 4, and you plug it in. Then the coefficient of the next one is a 2, you plug it in. The coefficient of the next one is a negative 4, you plug it in. The coefficient of the one after that is a 2, and the one after that is a 2 as well. So now we're basically done with our dividend. So what you're going to then focus on is your divisor. Take your divisor and set it equal to 0. And what you're going to do is now solve this for x. Okay, subtract 1 from both sides, so that's going to be 2x is equal to negative 1. Divide both sides by 2, and now x is going to be equal to negative 1/2. The benefit of this is that you're going to solve for x, and whatever that x value is going to be the value you're going to plug in here to the outside of that synthetic division table. Once you have this top row filled out, you're going to follow a very simple series of steps. Just drop down the 4 straight down. Whatever the first coefficient is, drop it down. Nothing is going to go in this box. That's why it's red. What you're then going to do is take the value at the bottom and multiply it by the value on the outside of the table. So 4 times a negative 1/2 is going to be a negative 2. If you want to do the work out on the side, just do negative 1/2 multiplied by 4. Remember, that's the same thing as saying 4 over 1. Multiply the numerators together, so that's a negative 4. Multiply the denominators together, so that's a 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is going to be a negative 2. Okay, and that's the value you're going to plug in there to the next adjacent cell. All right. Now all you're going to simply do is add these terms on up in that particular column. So 2 minus 2 is going to be a 0. Great. Repeat the process. Take this value, multiply it by then the value on the outside of the table, so negative 1/2 times 0 is just going to be 0. Simply now add this column on up, so that's going to be now a negative 4. Take negative 4, multiply it by negative 1/2, so that's going to be now a positive 2. Add these two terms together, positive 2 and 2 is going to be 4. And then take the 4, multiply it by the negative 1/2, it's going to work out to be negative 2. And then simply add these terms on together in that last column, and that's going to be a total of 0. There's no guarantee, by the way, that this last term will work out to be a 0. It's always nice, though, when it does, all right? But there's no guarantee. So what do these now terms at the bottom of this table represent? Well, this will represent now the coefficients and the remainders, okay, of your quotient, meaning the result, okay? Now, there's one other step, though, we're going to have to do, so don't start writing stuff down yet. But this represents the remainder, this represents the constant term, this represents the coefficient of the x term, this represents the coefficient of the x squared term, this represents the coefficient of the x cubed term, and ... however many terms you might have, okay? First, we'll always represent the remainder, and then it goes constant x, x squared, etc., okay? Now, what you're going to do before you conclude that these are indeed your values, you have to go back and look at your divisor. And you have to identify whatever the coefficient is of your x term in the divisor. And what you have to do is you have to take this coefficient, and you're going to have to divide it into now each of the terms here in your quotient, except for the remainder. Please do not divide it into the remainder. Don't do it. Now, when you do this out, these now will represent your new coefficient values, okay? So 4 divided by 2, right? So 4 divided by 2 is simply going to be a 2. 0 divided by 2 is a 0. Negative 4 over 2 is going to be a negative 2. And 4 over 2 is going to be a 2. Great. Now these are the true coefficients, okay? So this is your constant, this is your x squared, and then this is your x cubed. Please don't forget to do that step, okay? Now, just write out your function, your quotient here. 2x cubed plus 0x squared minus 2x plus 2, not plus 2c. The c just represents constant, meaning that there's no x. Then whatever your remainder is, plus, if it were negative, you would have plugged in a negative sign there. You're going to take this value, whatever it is, in this case it's 0, and you're going to put it over or divide into it, the divisor, 2x plus 1. This is basically now your quotient, but we can clean it up a little bit, right? This term just is 0 because 0 times anything is 0. And anything, 0 divided by anything is just 0 as well. So cleaning this up, making it nice and simple is going to be 3x cubed minus 2x plus 2. And guess what? That's now the quotient, okay? That's it. So when you take this thing and you divide it by this thing, you're going to get this thing. That's all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I really do hope this helped. And if it does, give us a hand if you don't mind. Spread the word. Tell your classmates. We'd love to help them too. Thank you so very much. Check our channel out. We'll see you.